Yeah.
How does it feel like,
Frustrating.
Grabe, stressful. Hindi pa natin nakakakuha ng budget.
Yes. Well, nobody wants to get broke or having overspending. So, before I want to talk about my own experience. I used to save money when I was in first year college. I always set aside an amount every time I get my allowance so that before I spend all of them, I have something that I can use whenever there is an emergency. But suddenly, I stopped saving and now I want to start saving again. So, I researched a better way of saving. I want to tell you about one way of saving money that will help us avoid overspending and will keep us on getting broke. There are 10 steps to do that way. In step 1, we need to kill our debt. Once the money is free from debt payment, it can now be repurposed to saving. Plus, the sooner you pay off debt, the less interest you pay, and that money can be saved instead. The only money saving that should take precedence before getting out of debt is to create an emergency fund by setting aside enough money so that if you lose your income or the source of your budget, you can survive for at least 3 months. If you don't really have your emergency fund, you should start contributing to one immediately. So in step 2, set saving goals. For short-term goals, this is easy. If you want to buy a pair of shoes, find out how much it will cost. If you want to buy a car, determine how much of a down payment you will need. In step 3, establish a time frame. Establishing a time frame will help you. For example, I want to buy a house 5 years from today. Set a particular date for accomplishing shorter-term goals and make sure the goal is attainable within that time period. If it's not attainable, you'll just get discouraged. Next is figure out how much you have to save per week or per month to attain each of your savings goals. Take each thing you want to save for and figure out how much you need to start saving now. For most savings goals, it's best to save the same amount of money each period. You can adjust your time frame until you come up with an approachable amount. In step 5, keep a record of your expenses. What you save was between 2 activities and their difference. How much you save and how much you spend. Since you have more control over your spending, it's wise to take a critical look at your expenses. Write down everything you spend your money on for a couple of weeks or a month. Be as detailed as possible. And try not to leave out small purchases. Assign each purchase or expenditure a category such as food, fare, board and lodging, entertainment, and etc. Keep a small notebook with you at all times. Get in the habit of recording every expenses and savings. Sit down once a week with your small notebook and receipt. Record your expenses in a larger notebook or spreadsheet program. There are also many apps you can download to your phone that will help you keep track of your expenses. The next step is to trim your expenses. Take a good look at your spending records over a month or 2 at that. You'll probably be surprised when you look back at your record of your expenses. You'll likely see some obvious cuts you can make so that you can save more money. However, you may need to make some difficult decisions like in stopping your smoking habits or drinking habits. Think about your priorities and make cuts you can live with. Calculate how much those cuts will save you per year and you'll be much more motivated to save money. In step 7, reassess your savings goals if necessary. Subtract drop your expenses from your budget and look if does it match up with your savings goals. If there's absolutely no way you can fit all your savings goals into your budget, take a look at what you're saving for and cut the less important things or adjust the time frame. Maybe you don't need a flat screen TV today, or maybe you don't need an iPad that badly. Step 8, make a budget. Once you've managed to balance your earnings with your earnings, savings goals, and spending, write down a budget so you'll know each month how much you can spend on any given thing or category of things. This is important for expenses which tend to fluctuate. In step 9, pay yourself first. Saving should be your priority, so don't just say that you'll save whatever is left over at the end of the month. It's not income minus expenses equals savings. It should be income minus savings equals expenses. And for the last step, don't get discouraged and don't give up. You may be surprised how much money you can put away for something far more enjoyable than what you could buy with short-term savings. Now, let's have a recap of the way I told you to spend money. Step 1, kill your debt. Step 2, set savings goals. And step 3, establish a time frame. And step 4, figure out how much you'll have to save per week or per month to attain each of your savings goals. Next, keep a record of your expenses. In step 6, name your expenses. And then, reassess your savings goals if necessary. Then after that, make a budget. Then, pay yourself first. And lastly, don't get discouraged and don't give up. Because saving is so much easier said than done. We can do more than spending less money to save. And that way alone is challenging. So, we need to find another way of saving money more effectively. So, thank you and God bless.